9.2 is about multiplying polynomials, which specifically multiplying a monomial, so this is monomial because it's one term, by multiple terms. So if I multiply 6x by x squared, I'm going to get 6x to the third power, because I'm going to multiply the coefficients, I'm going to add the exponents. So if I multiply 6x times 9x, I'm going to multiply the coefficients and add the exponents. And if I multiply 6x times -2, I'm going to get -12x. So number 2, I'm going to multiply -9 times 10, and I get -90x cubed. Multiply -9x times 5x, and I get -45x squared. And then -9x times 12. 12 times 9 is 108, so it's -108x. So you are multiplying the coefficients and you're adding the exponents. So if you don't see an exponent, you could write a 1 right there to remind you. So the third one is going to be 15m to the 9th minus 5m to the 7th plus 30m to the 3rd, because 1 plus 2 is going to make 3. Number 4, you have 8k times g squared. You're just going to smush these together. So it's going to be 8k g squared. Now 8 times 5 is 40, but this is going to be k to the 3rd because 1 plus 2 is 3. And then 8 times -9 is -72, and then you're just going to put kg. Number 5, -1 times 5 is -5 s to the 7th. -1 times 9 is -9 s to the 5th. And -1 times -4 is 4 s to the 4th. Okay, to find the GCF, GCF stands for greatest common factor. So you're going to try to find the greatest, the highest number that goes into all three, because this is a trinomial, terms. And also you want to look for the common exponents or common variables with the same exponents, with the lowest exponent. So I'm going to do a bunch of examples and you'll see. So number 1, what number can you divide 12, 10, and 4 by? Well, the greatest number you can divide by is a 2. Then you look at the variables, and they're all the same. So the one with the least exponent is x to the 1, so the greatest common factor is 2x. Second one, you're looking at the highest number that goes into 40, 20, and 35. So the greatest number is 5. Then you take the one with the least exponent, so it's r to the 4. Third one, all of these numbers can be divisible by 11. And then you have a lot of variables and exponents going on. So first, they all have p's, so I can divide them all by p squared. And then they all have r's, so I can divide them all by r squared because that's the lowest exponent. And then number 4, you don't have, there's not a number you can divide by besides 1. So I don't need to write 1. So now I'm going to do the variables, e5, e2, e. So the lowest exponent is e. Then f3, f squared. They all have f's in them, so I'm going to put f. That's the least exponent. And then to factor out a monomial, what you want to do is you're going to do backwards what we did previously. So previously we did 5x times x minus 3. And then we distributed. Now you got to think about what can I put on the outside, and if I do the distributed property, what would be left on the inside. So number 5, you could take out a 3 and an x. So you put the GCF on the outside. then I do parentheses, then I do 2 plus signs because this problem has 2 plus signs. So I have to fill in this spot, and this spot. So to fill in the first spot, what do I need to do is figure out what do I multiply 3x by to get 9x to the 4th. So 3x times something is 9x to the 4th. So the way that you can do that is you can divide 9x to the 4th by 3x. So if you divide 9x to the 4th by 3x, you're going to subtract the exponents, which is going to give you x cubed, and you're going to divide the coefficients. So this is actually going to be 3x to the 3rd. So I'm not going to set them up each way like that. I'm just going to do, what do I multiply 3x by to get 12x to the 3rd? So what I do first is I do, what do I multiply 3 by to get 12? So the answer is 4. And then I also have x1 times something is x squared, x cubed, so that's x squared. And the last term is 3x times what is 6x. So 3 times 2 is 6, but then I have an x and an x, so I'm all good. So this is my final answer. So number 6, what can I take out of both of these? Well, the greatest common factor I'm going to put on the outside is a 3 and a d. Parentheses, and I do a minus because this one has a minus above it. So what do I multiply 3d by to get 3d squared? Well, I already have a 3, but I have a d, and I need a d squared. So this one needs to be a d, because d1 times d1 is d2 because you're adding the exponents. And the second term has to be a 2 because 3d times 2 is 6d. Okay, number 7, if you look at the greatest common factor, I have a 2 in all of them, but I don't. Notice how you don't have k's in all of them, so you actually can't put a k on the outside because this one does not have a k. So I'm just going to put a 2 on the outside. So I'm going to divide everything through by 2. So it's going to be k to the 4th plus 2k cubed minus 3k minus 4. And then number 8, the greatest common factor, everything you can divide all this by 3. Now I have d5, d4, d3, so I'm going to put d3 on the outside. And then I have g2, g3, g2, so I'm going to put g2 on the outside. So now I have a plus sign and another plus sign. So work backwards. What can you multiply 3 by to get 18? So I'm going to put a 6. Then I have d3 and something else gives me d5, so that's d2. And I already have a g squared, so I do not need to write a g over here because g squared times 1 is g squared. The second term is going to be 2, because that's how I get a 6, d1, and then a g1. You don't need to write the 1s. And the last term is just going to be a 3, because I already have d3 and d2, and I already have d3 and g2.